Hi there, Brock Vandenberg, Fund Manager of Talamar Income Fund 1. Today, I want to explore the third item I look at when I underwrite a trust deed or mortgage investment. This is the third video of a 5-part series that I've put together on the top 5 things that I look for when I approve a hard money loan request. So today, we're going to talk about property type and why it's such an important component of my underwriting and approval process. Now, just a quick refresher, the other 4 items, and I'm going to go ahead and put links to the videos below, are going to be loan to value ratio, is going to be your borrower credit and income. Yes, I look at borrower credit and income. It's an important factor in my underwriting. We talk about property location, why that's important. I like to be in urban core markets, and then the fourth item, the other item, is going to be the exit strategy. How am I going to get repaid? But let's go ahead and focus on property type today. Now, one thing to take into consideration too is kind of the lowest risk type property type all the way up to the highest risk property type. But we're also going to bring in the idea of loan to value ratio, why that's important to consider also when you look at the property type that you're going to be lending against. So let's first talk about single family homes. So single family home is going to be probably one of the highest transacted property type in most markets if you're in a market that has single family homes. Now, we're lending primarily here in Southern California, so by far it's the highest property type that's being transacted. And I feel it's the lowest risk property type. And the reason being is that, number one, everybody needs a house to live in. Okay, so if the market starts to weaken, you see an increase in unemployment, you're always going to have some demand within the single family residence or single family market, should it be buyers and sellers or it may be renters, but people are always going to need a place to live. So I always find that it is the lowest risk property type. Also, in terms of financing, which is probably one of the biggest, helpful elements of real estate, financing a single family home is much easier than financing other property types such as commercial property or land. So again, when you have the demand for a single family home, you've got the capital available for it, it probably is on the lower risk scale. And in fact, single family homes make up about 75% of our mortgage fund portfolio. And also go back to loan to value ratio. So real refresher on loan to value ratio. Loan to value ratio is simply the loan amount as a percentage of the value of the property. So if, let's say, you're lending out $50,000 and it's secured on a home that's worth $100,000, you have a loan to value ratio of 50%. The lower that ratio goes down, the more equity the borrower has in the property, and the lower risk, assuming all else is equal when you underwrite a loan, the lower risk that transaction is. So me, especially in the Southern California market, I feel comfortable going up to about 70% loan to value. That assumes that you still have a borrower with strong credit, you got an urban location on the property, clear exit strategy on how that borrower is going to repay you. So I'll go up to 70% loan to value on single family residences. Now, right behind single family is going to be multifamily. Same concept, same ideas. People always need a place to live. And especially here in Southern California, we just have a lack of supply of housing. We just don't have enough housing for the amount of people looking for it. And so values for single family and multifamily have a tendency to do okay during economic volatility. So the multifamily also makes up a large percentage of my portfolio. Now let's go into kind of some of the more risky assets that you can be securing your trust deed or mortgage against, and that's going to be commercial. And I'm going to break out commercial into a couple of segments. First, we're going to talk about light industrial and warehouse. Here in Southern California, there's still a huge demand for it. You've got Amazon still looking for space for distribution facilities, other companies that are here that still need space to manufacture their products and then also distribute their products as well. So I do like the light industrial and I like the warehouse. I find light industrial, the uglier it is, so its use, maybe a scrap yard or something, those borrowers typically have a very difficult time getting conventional financing for those property types. And so that's why we get a lot of demand within the hard money lending space for that property type. Now, again, some of the riskier asset types that you have in, let's call it commercial, is going to be your hotel use. I've never financed a hotel. I get the idea. Obviously you've got income generated from people that are going to be staying at the hotel, but there is a lot of risk associated with the hotel. Number one, you've got to have a good operator. Number two, if you do have an economic slowdown, people aren't going to be traveling as much, and therefore the income generated by that hotel may go down, which will significantly impact the value of the real estate and then significantly impact your loan to value ratio and may put you at higher risk. And it's just not a risk that I need to take, so I prefer not to fund on hotels. Other type of space is going to be your mixed use. Mixed use is usually going to have either retail at the bottom or commercial office space at the bottom, and maybe you have some living spaces at the top. Definitely something I'll take into consideration. However, I don't like office, and I probably won't be funding much office here in the near future. Obviously, we've seen the issues within the office market. A lot of companies are pulling back the amount of office space they need to use because employees simply are just not coming into the office. So a lot of core urban markets are having problems, especially here on the West Coast. You look at Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, all major cities that are dealing with significant vacancies in the office space. And I always tell my underwriters and I tell my account executives that, look, yeah, it might look like a great deal on paper with office. However, we could be funding other loans. They're just other better loans that we can be really targeting. So really don't do office. And again, back to hotel. Now, in terms of loan to value ratio, if it's a really good office space, but industrial, light industrial warehouse here in San Diego, I'll go up to 65% loan to value. If the borrower, again, has strong credit cash flow, clear exit strategy, property location else is good, I'll go up to 65% loan to value. And then I scale it back down if we start to see some weakness, maybe in borrower credit or the other items I talked about. Now, we talked about three main property types. That's going to be your single family, multifamily, and commercial. Let's talk about land, because land is one of these loans or property types almost 99% of the time I'm going to say no to. And the reason being is land value, the value of a piece of land is based upon its future use. So for example, if you're buying a lot and that person is going to build a house to it, the real value is what that person is going to improve that property with in the future. If you looked at 2007, 8, and 9, some of the most money lost within the private real estate debt market was on land, especially if you're here in Southern California, kind of the desert market. A lot of the development was going out east. When the housing market collapsed, there was no demand for that development, so the value of that land went to near zero. What's even worse is that a lot of the improvements that they made on the land essentially disintegrated because of the amount of time it took for any value to come back. So a lot of the improvements they made either were blown away, or the underground improvements didn't last, or they were never finished. They were all having to be replaced. You saw a lot of issues also in Nevada, or a lot of markets in Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Florida, were also where land values went to near zero because they just stopped doing development. So that's a property type that I just simply stay away from. Caveat or asterisk being if it's in a super core market, it's improved. So there's definitely, the infrastructure has been built in there, and the borrower just needs a short-term bridge loan maybe to get a construction loan to take us out. I'll take that into consideration. So to kind of review, property types are going to be one of the 5 things that I look for when I underwrite a hard money loan. Property types, I love single family and multifamily. Kind of scale back from there is going to be your light industrial and going to be your warehouse space. Stuff I completely stay away from is going to be your office, and then completely stay away from is going to be your land use, unless it's in a core urban market. Now again, these are just items that I underwrite to, my underwriting criteria. You're going to want to figure out what risk level you want to take and then stick to that risk level. If you like this content, please give it a like. Check out my YouTube channel for other content. I'll go ahead and put the links to the other videos that I've posted on the top 5 things that I look for when I underwrite a hard money loan. Hopefully this will help you develop your credit box, get you more knowledgeable about when you invest in trust deeds or mortgages so that you don't have any long-term issues. Thanks for watching.